Kia ora koutou katoa, no mai hara mai ki UFC on Sky ko Ravinda Hunia aho. The UFC crowned a new bantamweight king on the weekend after Sean O'Malley dismantled Aljamain Sterling at UFC 292 in Boston. The heavy underdog Sean O'Malley showed composure and patience in the octagon, but it was his footwork and feint work that helped tee up a beautifully timed right hand, getting him the TKO win in round 2. Let's take a quick look now at how the world reacted to the Sugar Show win.
Oh, what was that? Oh, no! No! Yes! I said it's not.
And they announced the fight.
They announced the fight.
I didn't know how he was going to feel.
That's crazy.
Cortisone shots in your back.
Two cortisone shots in my back at the beginning of camp.
Venison meat.
Venison meat. Bad
Smashed
rib.
your nose on the door.
This was the first time I hadn't ran. We did those stair sprints, but that was the first time I didn't do run on the treadmill. The first camp I've ever done with it because my knees weren't feeling great. Whatever happened, I was like, pains, just get through this fucking fight. I felt like I can get it once I get into my breath. I can allow my higher self to take over, and I don't have any remembrance of being in the fight. It happened. Just was in the moment.
This weekend, UFC Fight Night lands in Singapore, where the former featherweight champion Max Holloway will be facing Korean Zombie. And Max Holloway joins me now. Kia ora, kia koe e hoa. Welcome back to the show.
Good to be back. Thank you for having.
Look, before we get into the fight chat, I just wanted to say that here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, we are thinking of the people of Hawaii and what's going on with the wildfires over there. I just wanted to get your thoughts about what's happening at home, considering you have a big fight ahead of you, but so much happening back at home.
Man, it's just sad. It's sad, the people of Lahaina. I feel like, the world, if you actually did your research or you even a little bit, if you've seen everything that's going on, just the people of Lahaina was just let down by the state, the government, and it's just sad. It's something sad, something sad to witness, something sad to see, but, with sadness, there's always, opposite side of it, and to see the Hawaii community come together the way they did, the people who was not affected by the fires on Maui that came through for the guys who was affected is real heroes, man. They stopped their life to help these people get back on their feet. And it's not only them, it's around the world. Around the world, the donations, the love. You guys know what it is, the mana. You can feel the mana, that spiritual power just flowing in the islands, flowing from around the world. So, very, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a very tough scene for sure. But the Hawaii people is just amazing, man. You can't knock us down. The warrior spirit in us is just gonna keep fighting, and I use it, that's what I'm going to use. And it's just a tough situation down there right now.
Yeah, 100%, Max. We do understand that mentality of mana and coming together for our people when they need it. And although your fight this weekend doesn't, physically give relief, it would be giving a sense of positivity and a bit of a shining light on some dark times that are happening at home right now.
Every time stepping into the octagon, I always had Hawaii in my back. I know it's a little bit more heavier with everything that's going down in Maui and Lahaina. So I know if I can be that little ray of light for like even a split second for some of them to forget what's going on for half a second, whatever it is, even like I said, for a split second, then I did my job. I did my job. Those guys down there. And it's tough. It's just tough to speak on. They're heroes. Like I said, they're heroes. They're fighting. They're real warriors. They're real warriors. And if I can get their mind off of it for just a little while. I think that's the little help I can give.
I just wanted to cast your mind back to the Arnold Allen win that you had. Straight after that fight, you jumped into the post-fight press conference and you called out the Korean Zombie immediately. I wanted to know why you wanted to fight him in particular.
I know, Korean Zombie was one of the guys I looked up to. You know, one of the legends, the ones that came from WEC. I almost fought everybody who's who was in WEC. You know, Aldo and Perez and Lames, and so all these guys. So why not him? You know, and he was calling me out. He was calling me out for a minute now, and I always thought me and him was gonna fight. So you know, better late than never. We're here now, and I'm excited to share Octagon with him come Saturday night.
You also mentioned in that call out that you wanted to fight him in Australia because you had a team member of your team from Australia. Obviously not to be because the fight card's going to be in Singapore. But I was wondering, you know, is there any chance of you coming down to this side of the world and competing?
I mean, yeah, I want to. I mean, they announced the Australia card, so maybe we was even trying to think like, why didn't we get the co-main event over there or something, you know? So would have been cool, but we see what happens, you know. I never been to Australia ever, so I thought it would have been great for go to fight. So if we're gonna fight in there in the future, why not? You know, I'd love to go there and see Australia. I heard it's beautiful.
Well, I know you'd be welcomed 100% with open arms, Max, if that was to ever come to fruition. Look, Zombie's been competing in the UFC since 2011. You've been competing since 2012. It's crazy to think that your paths haven't crossed before. Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I mean, yeah, it beats me. It beats me. You know, he's both of our fighting styles is meant for fireworks. So I just can't wait, you know. A lot of people, I was in his shoes in my last fight against Arnold. You know, coming off, you're only as good as your last fight in this sport. And, you know, coming off that, my last one before the Arnold Allen fight with the Volk, you know, people was counting me out. Just like the same, they're counting this guy out. But this man had a year and like four months off. And I think we're going to see the best Zombie it is. All his injuries, all his affairs. He got to get him in order. He got him in order, I'm sure. And he know what it takes to be at that championship level. He been in championship fights, so this ain't no different. You know, he know who he is. He know who I am, and I can't wait to shoot Octagon with the man.
What does this fight against Korean Zombie mean for you?
This is a legacy fight. 2-2. You know, Korean Zombie is a legend. Everybody know he's a legend. He's been around for a long time too. So this is a legacy fight, 100%. And I just can't wait to go out there and fight him. You know, his fighting style excites me. The way he fought, it's in his name. I mean, he's the Zombie. So those kind of fights intrigue me. They get me up in the morning, and I can't wait. You know, we're days away from actually stepping in the octagon with him. So I'm just excited. Here in Singapore, I'm glad we came in a little early. It's a little hot, like you said, but it is what it is, you know. We got a couple more days. We gotta deal with it, and we get to fight. After the fight, we got a day here, and we get to enjoy the food, so I'm looking forward to.
Is another title run still on the cards for you?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I would not be here if I wasn't trying to get the title back, you know. And at the end of the day, I'm still the number one contender in the world. And last fight, I took out a contender in Arnold Allen that a lot of people thought that my best days was behind me. You know, I got TKZ now, and we see what happens, you know. I'm the number one contender, and I'm not being the number one contender and sitting on the sidelines for like 8 months at a time, taking a fight, or a year at a time, like some of these other guys are doing, which is just totally tripping my mind. But we see what happens, you know. The only way you can get a title shot is by fighting, and we're fighting, you know. And you know, this fight is all. The only thing on my mind is to be undeniable. We'll go out there, be undeniable, make a statement in this TKZ fight, and then we'll go from there.
Is there any unfinished business between you and Alexander Volkanovski?
Oh, for sure. I would love to fight him. I love to fight him. I love to fight him. He's one of the best guys in the world. He's the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world right now, and why not? The last fight was the last fight, but the fights before that was competitive fights. So at the end of the day, we see never say never. We see what happens. Nothing but respect his game and everything. But to be the best, you got to beat the best, and the best is blessed.
Saturday, August 26th, the UFC returns to Singapore. Former champ Max Blessed Holloway looks to use his elite boxing to follow up a dominant performance and turn back fan favorite, the Korean Zombie, looking to earn his 14th career stoppage victory, plus a full card of can't miss action. Don't miss UFC Fight Night, only on ESPN+.
UFC Singapore starts this weekend on Saturday night at 9 p.m. and the card will flow through the night. Max Holloway, of course, up against Korean Zombie in the main event, but don't miss, Junior Tuffa will be making his second UFC appearance on that card as well. Now, UFC 293 is the next major pay-per-view event and it is just around the corner and will feature light heavyweight Tyson Pedro, who's looking for a little redemption in his homecoming fight. We've just seen you doing some work here in the gym this morning. How have preparations been going?
Yeah, pretty crazy. It's every time I come here, I feel like I either get better or leave a part of myself here. So it's this I'd say either this one or the last camp being one of my favorite camps, and just you always learn something about yourself being in this this place. It destroys you in a way, but you gain a lot out of it.
I was going to say, you say it's your favorite camp now, but I remember talking to you in the build-up saying it was one of the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you get out of them?
Yeah, when I say my favorite place, it's it's because it's a hard thing. It's when something scares you, you got to run at it head on. This week's been pretty cool because my family's come over from Australia, so that sort of reinforces why I'm here. Gives me, really reminds me of why I'm here, and especially those dark moments when you're pushing through, of why you got to keep going.
Talking about that family being here, because it's just across the ditch. How great is it to have this major card coming around the corner so close to home?
Yeah, it's good to be back. Obviously, my last performance wasn't one of my favourite in Australia, so it'll be good to get back in front of, and especially being my hometown, Sydney. I want to put on a big show, and I don't know, I was a bit jaded after, some of the fans, it was it was a different experience afterwards with the fight. I hadn't experienced that before, so really getting back to why I'm fighting, why I'm doing it, and I just want to get in there and hurt this guy.
I was actually going to go into, your opponent and what you make of him and rah-de-rah, but it actually seems like you're more focused on what you're bringing to this fight. So what are you wanting to put on show? Yeah,
he's definitely got to prepare for me. I'm not really looking... obviously I've watched his fights and stuff, but I'm just coming in to hurt him, just extreme violence. I just want to get in there. I want to have a good scrap on this one, to be honest. The last one was such a flailing of a fight, I guess you could say, that I just want to get in there and just have a scrap and show everyone that I'm a fighter, and that's why I'm here.
6 of you on the card coming out of this gym in Sydney. There is, historic amount of fighters. How does it feel when you're in a situation like this in your training, knowing that these guys are also on the same card as you?
Yeah, the training part's awesome. You can feel the energy. Everyone, it does make it hard because every single session you're trying to win. There's no and especially with such a fierce competition, everyone's butting heads, trying to just win every moment. But it's stressful also on the fight night. I don't know how coach does it sometimes. 6 people for me is I hope I'm early on the night because you don't like watching your other teammates. That's more stressful for me than getting in the ring. So, octagon, I should say. So I'm just. Really excited, but also to be part of it. I got to be a part of Izzy's camp with Miami, and just what he creates in the fight week. It was a lesson learnt, and it's cool to see what they've done, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's probably a lot of what you're taking away from the CKB environment, right?
Yeah, it's very selfish because I like to think I'm bringing something for them, but I know I'm getting more out of it being here. So it's definitely being a selfish endeavour, coming over here and learning so much from them and taking on board.
And finally, although you're here, New Zealand teammates, etc., you do have your bro over across the ditch, Tai Tuivasa. Yeah. He's featuring on the card. Yeah. You've been in touch with him. How is that all going?
Yeah, we've been speaking. He's there's just no words. He's always ready for. He's planning the after party with me. So he's more concentrated on the after party than the fight sometimes. So we're getting doing some stuff for our brewery out west straight after the fight. So there's some big plans. But for me, I'm just ready to get on the fight. And obviously, I want to see him win. I've got a lot of family coming, and especially his side as well. So it's going to be a cool time.
And a huge congratulations to City Kickboxing fighter Kevin Youssette, who has been awarded a UFC contract. An opponent for the Frenchman is yet to be named, but watch this space for all the details. And speaking of City Kickboxing, UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya will be headlining UFC 293, but although he is preparing for his fight against Sean Strickland in Sydney, he's also been behind the scenes releasing his movie, Stylebender. This movie will be released in Aotearoa, New Zealand on September 28th, and here is your preview.
Who is Israel Adesanya?
Israel Adesanya! The best middleweight on planet Earth.
I was an outsider, and then I tried to fit in, but I wasn't meant to fit in. There's 2 kids. Next day I had my lips like this. I got beat up. Dancing helped me discover using your anger as fuel. Dancing in front of 3 people gives me anxiety. Fighting in front of millions of people doesn't do shit to me. They don't teach you how to be famous, so I had to learn this shit myself.
Israel Adesanya has found himself under fire for trash talking.
All these cameras on me and shit.
He wears his emotions on his sleeve. And in this sport, that's pretty abnormal. Yeah.
I still struggle. I'm just fighting through everything.
I have to make him understand what's going to keep him focused is his love for the sport.
He never let me not be me. I remind myself I'm human. I'm able to just go forth with my life. I want to represent for my younger self, because I remember feeling helpless.
Only a few have managed to beat that demon.
Get in there!
If you're in front of me, I'm gonna use you as a canvas to show off my art.
You're gonna change after this?
This haircut though, man, I swear. Sorry. I'm chasing greatness. I find comfort in the uncomfortable.
I've got his back.
I will make today count. Who is Israel Adesanya? Try and put me in a box. That's the story you're telling yourself, but that's not the truth.